Every Tuesday night, Bleav in Kings, Golden Days. We're collaborating. Mark, you ready to go, man?
Let's do this. Let's do it. I'm ready.
This is the I-80 crossover. Hope you enjoy. Mark, how can people follow you on social media? We're going to have a better visual soon. Bear with us for the first episode. How the F are you doing? And how can people follow you, Mark, on social media?
Hey, I am doing great, and I'm doing much better since I'm on with my guy Cyrus, and we're doing this I-80 collaboration. I'm we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna get into this Sacramento, the Bay Area. I'm juiced. I'm excited. But
I am too, man.
everybody, you can find me pretty much in all places at Mark Haynes NBA. That's my handle on everything. But on YouTube, you can find all my content and more at the Closer Sports.
I love it. And just to make life easier for people, if you're on YouTube, all you have to do is type in Bleav in Kings, and the home base of the show will present itself. The Closer Sports. Mark, tell people what that channel is about, dude, because you're not just doing hoops on this YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, this gonna be a little bit of everything. Obviously, the NFL season is getting going, so we're gonna have multiple shows covering that. Dalen Mason is a guy that's gonna have a show. Jelani Hendricks, Adal Osman. These are names that you could look out for. That's gonna be doing a lot of things on this channel, especially during the NFL and NBA season. But yeah, a little bit of everything. You go see during special events like we got the Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight coming up. So we'll probably do some things and do a few live streams with that. But
hell yeah.
It's going to be a hub to find everything that we're doing. And you go see me and Cyrus face over there too with this new collaboration.
Hell yeah, dude. It's on right now. I just double checked. The Closer Sports is showing your live stream. And again, we're doing this every Tuesday night. It's early September. We're just coming off Labor Day weekend, and that means there's nothing going on in basketball except for players starting to get ready for training camp, which media day and training camp coincide this year. I don't know if they always do that, but September 29th is the date for the Warriors. To the best of your knowledge, Mark, when does Sacramento media day / training camp begin for you folks?
You know what? That's a good question. I honestly, I don't know the answer to that. I haven't received the email at this point.
I haven't either.
But
the only reason why I know that date is because the NBA announced it, and they said there was like 5 or 6 exceptions to that September 29th start. A few teams start training camp on September 23rd because they're playing internationally. To the best of your knowledge, are the Kings traveling?
No. So, yeah, that should be the 29th then.
So there you go. So September 29th for both NorCal teams. We call the show the I-80 crossover because literally Interstate 80, a nightmare freeway. I try to avoid it if I can. Dude, you've logged, how many thousands of miles have you logged on that freeway, dude? Especially in the middle of the night, right? Like that's, you've explored that speed a little bit.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know how. I don't want to even be close to right on that guess because I hate that freeway, but I guess I got a new love for it now because of the show name and stuff.
There you go. Yup. There you go.
Man, the I-80, man. But yeah, that's how I get to you, man.
And right back at you. Yeah, dude. I-80s, if you want to go to Tahoe, when I used to be a sponsor snowboarder once upon a time, I hit the 80 and then the 50. I'd go to South Lake. Yep. By the way, Bloomer Vibes in our chat. Good to see you. And mentioning the Valkyries. They beat the New York Liberty tonight. Mark, I've been hyping up because FanDuel, who sponsors Golden Days, hopefully they're going to sponsor Bleav in Kings in the near future. They're giving us lines for the WNBA. Like you can bet on this action. And I was hyping up a week ago. Sorry if this is an exhausting topic, but FanDuel let people bet on the Valkyries to reach 25 wins. And if you bet on that, they gave you plus 2,500 odds. Plus 2,500 means you bet $1 to win 250. And the Valkyries, I think their record was 18-17 when they laid those odds down. They're now 22-18. If they win 3 of their last 4, I hope someone raises their hand and makes an appearance to proudly boast that they're going to potentially win that bet. But the Valkyries, with this win tonight, they're 3 wins away from cashing in 25 wins. Dude, I know we're not going to talk WNBA that much tonight. Mark, the Sacramento market, I don't think, has a WNBA team. No, they don't. Do you follow it at all, dude? Like, do you need it to be in SAC to have an interest? What are your thoughts on the WNBA?
No, yeah, I haven't got down there for a Valkyrie game. The plan was to go. Was that Saturday? They played the Fever or whatever.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday, yeah. Ari McDonald, she's from my hometown, Fresno, California. One of my best friends is her cousin. His cousin.
No, baby.
Yeah. So I was gonna go there, but she was hurt, unfortunately. So I didn't make it. But I'm not, man. I haven't been fully locked in, but like, how can you not pay attention to it anymore? Like, it's definitely not something that you just overlook.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at the star power with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers in it, like it's. I'm loving where it's going. I'm loving everything about it.
Same, dude. Asia Wilson, who's become like, and what's funny is, one thing I was thinking about, and I might as well bring it up now because why not? A lot of people hate on the old era of the NBA, meaning like the game started, I think, in 1946, and no one's talking about those very beginning days because there was no shot clock. Like it was, I think it was like all white. No one was dunking. It's just that isn't. No one's actually pretending that was real basketball. But it started in 46. Fast forward to the 60s though, and you start to get a semblance of like the real game, right? Like Bill Russell's Celtics are launching the first dynasty. And it made me think about the WNBA because the WNBA is in these early stages like the NBA was. And Asia Wilson to me is very so. I don't know if like Wilt is the proper comp. I don't know if Bill Russell is the proper comp, but 20, 30 years from now, you might have kids bringing up Asia Wilson going, oh, dude, she played in a league where there was just like 10 teams. And I mean, that's not the modern era, dude. We didn't have
only one girl could dunk.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm wondering, like, do you think that could happen? Like, and what are your thoughts on just the whole premise of disregarding the early era of anything, really, because it was just a long time ago? That's bullshit to me. Your thoughts?
No, I do. I think that's what's going to happen with the WNBA. I think even with the money situation that they're going through right now and wanting more money, I think there's going to be big contracts in the WNBA because obviously, for sure, they deserve it when it comes to what they're doing on the court. Yeah. But as you look at the NBA, it took a long time to get to where we got these $200 million contracts and all this stuff or whatever. So I think it's just they're in the early stages, and I think everything is going to grow. And I think this is a league that's going to be around forever.
Yes, sir. I agree. It's definitely not going anywhere, and I hope there isn't a lockout, which is anticipated because you have two sides that are on opposite ends of a financial spectrum. The players clearly are not making it a lot, but the owners, they're fiscally prudent, and I'm saying that that's a kind way to spin how they really behave. Nonetheless, I hope that doesn't happen. It's a possibility, but the WNBA is awesome. I'm immersed in it. But we're here to talk Warriors and Kings and Warriors, however order you want to spin that. And when we come back, Jonathan Kuminga, the Sacramento Kings are apparently like the most interested team in Jonathan Kuminga. You have a very polarized Warriors fan base in terms of whether or not the fans want Kuminga to stay, whether it's time to move on, and you have all the Steve Kerr stands who go, dude, the system, bro. It's all about the system. and yeah, so it's chaos. I'm curious to know what Kings fans are thinking about Kuminga. And I'm also curious to know, Mark, if you don't mind shedding light on how genuine the interest is from SAC. We're going to talk about that and so much more. First and foremost, though, I want to give some love to FanDuel, proud sponsor of Golden Days. Bleav in Kings is a part of the Bleav network. Hopefully, FanDuel will become a part of them in the near future. That is one of my agendas here, Mark. I want to get you under the FanDuel umbrella. And, dude, bro, I am so bitter that FanDuel is not legal in California. I feel like I could have an entire secondary source of income and could be sitting pretty. I don't want to live in Vegas to gamble legally. And unfortunately for Californians, we can't bet on FanDuel. If we could, you could put juice. You could put money down right now on NBA action. Are there any odds that you're curious about in regards to the Sacramento Kings? Because what I can tell you right now is they don't have the opening lines currently available for the Kings' first game of the season. You can bet on the Warriors. They're plus 3.5 playing at Crypto opening night. It's Warriors-Lakers in LA. Even though the Warriors only have 9 players currently signed to the roster, I don't see a line for the Kings, but there are other odds. Like you can bet on a team's odds, for example, to make the finals. You could bet on futures for individual awards. Is there anything that makes you curious?
Do they have a line out there about if Russell Westbrook will be in a Sacramento King jersey? I'll be interested in that.
We're talking about that. We're going to talk about that because that is crazy to me that the Kings are as interested as they are allegedly. No, you can't bet on. Look, FanDuel makes a lot of they open up a lot of great props. That sadly is not one of them to the best of my research. Here's what I can tell you about the Kings in terms of what's available. The odds for the Sacramento Kings to make the playoffs next year. Yes, plus 370. No, minus 600. What that reveals is that the odds makers overwhelmingly think that the Kings will not make the postseason. Your thoughts on that?
I understand it right now. I understand it because the roster, the way it's constructed right now, is like what's happening. And it's not, obviously it's not complete in the form of, putting out a playoff contending team, and then it's not complete and they're still trying to figure out what's going to happen with the roster. Like it's too many question marks out there to say this is a playoff team.
Oh my God. If the Kings have that many question marks, what do we say about the Warriors, dude? That's insane. Here's another here's another line you could bet on, and I think that the numbers are a little more favorable for the Kings here. If I could find it. Here it is. Okay, so to make the play in, that means you finish the season as a 7 through 10. So you can fall as far back as the 10 seed and still win this bet. The Sacramento Kings are plus 180 to be a play-in team. Those are okay odds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not
bad. That.
Not bad. I can see that. I can agree with that.
In comparison, the Utah Jazz are plus 8,000 just to make the play. I would put money on that, dude. I mean, plus 8,000. Who knows what? I mean, the 10s. You never know when a team like Utah just will suddenly like show up, And
yeah.
And who's the player they drafted? Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Side note, by the way, Danny Ainge and his son, who are running the show in Utah, cold-blooded, dude. Like I don't know if this is a breaking story, but Mark, I'd love to know what your thoughts are and whether you appreciate this. The Danny Ainge's son called Ace Bailey's agent the day of the draft to let them know that they were interested. Ace Bailey's agent, and if you've seen that clip of him where he's like just looking in the mirror and holding the chain up, and he's like dapping, and he's like, I don't know if you folks have seen that. The guy's a character. He hung up the phone. That like Danny Ainge's son called Ace Bailey's agent and said, "Hey, this is," I forgot Danny's son's name. This is Rick Ainge, whatever his name is. Dude, we want to draft you. Like we're calling to let you know that we're gonna pick you if you fall to us. Click. That's literally click. And they still went ahead and drafted him, dude. It kind of reminds me of the Warriors and Kuminga, right? Like Kuminga's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want out. Joe Lacob. What do you want? I can't hear you. My reception's going out. You want where? You want to stay? Grit click. It's crazy.
See you at camp.
Did you know that story?
No, I'm loving it though, man. I as a fan, I do like when it's like kind of a little, tension between, players and front office or whatever. Because it's always, it's been a players' league the last, decade or so or whatever, to where it was you would see guys who got 2-3 years left on the contract demand a trade, and then they're gone the next day, and it's like, if I'm the owner, it's like, why? I'm gonna you gonna give me at least a year or two. Like
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything. But I like the back and forth. Obviously, I'm sure the organizations don't and whatnot. But it's entertaining to see. Like, would we be talking about Utah if none of this happened?
That's a good point. That's a good
So
point.
that's it's good for ratings.
And we'll get to a lot of the chat comments in just a second. Is 559, by the way, the area code for Fresno?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I saw someone drop that early, and I just I thought that was the case. Where is it? Oh, here, Degenerate Dad, I think, representing the Valley, and then some. God damn, it's been hot lately. Today, finally, it cooled down. Degenerate Dad adding that Sacramento was close to 110. His stepson goes to Sac State. Dude, how are A's games being played in this weather, dude? How did that, like, is that why attendance is not rocking? Because I saw the figures, and supposedly it's not selling out. Is it because it's so hot?
Actually, I've actually heard. I haven't been to a game, but I've heard from my good friend Jeremiah Somerson, one of my other co-hosts, that the reason the numbers are down is because the stadium is smaller. That's what he said. I'm not saying, I don't know if it's true. 'Cause I haven't been there, but now he was like it's selling out for the most part every game. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine playing. You go from playing in the Bay Area where it's nice and cool and it's scorching,
Oakland,
man.
especially. Yeah.
Yeah, my beard was dripping sweat today. I was outside and it gets so hot in Sacramento and Fresno. I'm from Fresno, so it's really hot. The only difference is Fresno heat. It doesn't go away. Like 9 o'clock, it's probably still 100 out there right now. Sacramento, the Bay Area cools us down a little bit out here, so around 5 it cools off. But man, it's been hot, man. And it rained today. It rained. It was light.
Really?
Yeah. Then it was 100. It's like, what the heck is going on? So yeah, I don't know what's going on out here. So I with the A's, I think they in the same battle right now.
So I'm a born and raised Northern California, and I lived in Texas for 2 years, and that experience just literally made me think, okay, so it's just like the Valley. Like it's just like you need AC 24/7, right? Like it doesn't cool down at night. Like 5 a.m, it's 90 degrees and humid. It's disgusting, dude. It's crazy. And so that's a good comparison, though. So the difference between weather in the know and weather in Sacramento is nights, basically. Like nights. Is it fair to say, or like nights?
That's it. That breeze that's coming off the I-80. That's it. That's it.
Andres Million, by the way, Golden Dazer, a big fan of the show. Thank you. Is saying, didn't the Kings not draft Luka Doncic because he didn't want to play there? Is that true? Is that why they drafted Marvin Bagley?
I think that could have been one of the reasons, but I think the biggest reason was I think Vlade Divac was in charge at the time. I think he didn't want Luka. I think so. I think it's two sides of that story that's true, and both of them, hurt the Sacramento Kings.
Oh my God! And Bleav, who's joining us from the Bleav in Kings stream, adding it's presently 83 degrees in the valley. Dude, that's warm, dude. We're recording. It's almost 10 o'clock at night.
I'm drinking this water, man. I want to turn this fan on, but it's gonna be too loud.
Oh man! Well, one last FanDuel line before we get back to the regular conversation here. In your opinion, Mark, the Sacramento Kings, the FanDuel doesn't have like really hard lines for over unders, and that's a show you and I should do once those are formally released. Those numbers, over unders on each team. The Warriors last year, I think, were at like 43.5, and then you bet right over under, and they cleared that. What do you remember what the Kings were last year, and your thoughts on right now? The one bet you could place is Sacramento minus 420 to get 30 or more regular season wins. Your thoughts on that line, and what was it last year?
I don't remember what it was last year. I would say it was kind of high. I would say it was higher than the Warriors last year coming in.
Wow.
because I just remember the DeMar DeRozan thing was such a big get, especially when you looked at like it was essentially a swap. It wasn't a trade, but they got rid of Harrison Barnes and you bring in DeMar
Ooh.
DeRozan, and most people would say that you got better. So I think they came off of a year where they won 40, 45 or something like that. So I'm pretty sure it was up around the 45 range. But it was 30 right now, you said?
Well, 30 or more. Like FanDuel has it broken up into 5-game brackets, so you can bet on 25 or more, 30 or more, 35 or more, and each bracket has certain teams. So the Warriors right now, I think, are in the 40 plus bracket. Yes.
Mhm.
So for the Warriors, you can bet on them to win 40 or more wins next year, and that's
Mhm.
minus 450.
Yeah.
The Kings are in the 30 bracket, 30 wins or more, minus 420. You can't bet on the under either. It has to be
Yeah.
30 or more. So
Yeah, I definitely think they win more than 30 games. I think the Kings will be that team that's like, the league is everybody else is getting so much better, but they're still like good enough to win, random nights and stuff and semi consistently. Like they're gonna win too much to get a good draft pick, but they're not gonna they're it'll be more than 30 beams this year.
there you go. And the Warriors are at 40. And I don't know how the hell you would even think about putting money on that, because what are they going to look like next year? The Kuminga part of this is important because
Very.
Steph, yeah, right. Steph, Dre, Jimmy, the core, God damn, they're old, man. 38, 36, 36. That's their age next year. And so the Kuminga piece is vitally important. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about that in a lot more. But the Warriors right now, you can bet on that 40 or more wins. And I think the odds on that bet would be where is it? I lost it. Here it is, minus 450. So I'd stay away from those lines right now and wait until you actually get legitimate OUs. But again, FanDuel, have fun. Side note, if anyone wants to DM me what the best VPN is to circumvent the GPS of FanDuel, hit me up, please, because I'm dying here, man. I want to play FanDuel. It's just looking at the sports book and then not being able to play with it. It's like being a
Right.
little kid and dangling cake in front of him. It's like, and he can't touch it. What's going on here? You're driving me insane. Real quick, today's episode for is also brought to you by Decades. They're a cover band. Mark, cover bands. I know it's a weird topic. We're incredibly blessed here on the Golden Days side of things to have a sponsor like them. It's all about live music, whether it's weddings, whether it's anniversaries, whether it's birthdays. I don't know if you've seen the movie Step Brothers, but there was an event in Step Brothers they called the Catalina Wine Mixer. They needed live music for that. Prestige Worldwide stepped up and saved the day. This band, Decades, can do the same for you. Dude, Step Brothers, side note, one of the greatest films ever. I'm sorry. Call me immature if you want. I could give two shits about that. But Mark, Decades plays everything from the 50s to today, all genres of music. I'm sorry if I've asked you this already. I'm asking again if I have previously. My apologies. What would be on your request list? Like what would you hit them up for if you hired them for your event and you're like, I want this music? What are you asking for?
Because if I was doing an event, it would be, now that I'm 38, approaching, the good 40s or whatever, it would be a grown and sexy event. So like something I'm thinking about, even though it's a little before my time, but my era definitely know this song is by the Isley Brothers, Between the Sheets. That's
Oh,
what
hey
that's
now.
that's what I want to hear them do.
Hey now. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. And Decades is available for you as well. Just go check them out. If you're interested in booking them, go to decadesofficial.com. That's their website. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at decadesofficial, or email Kyle at atomicmusicgroup.com. Again, Kyle at atomicmusicgroup.com. If you're interested in booking this phenomenal band, the one caveat that we learned, I spoke to the drummer today. He said, sorry, but if they will not adhere to special requests like being a lead singer for the band for your event. There are restrictions. Unfortunately, they could not hire. They could not play an event because the party requested that one of their group be the lead singer of the band, and they're like, we can't do that. I'm sorry, that's a little much. Nonetheless, they're available for you. Book them, and we're available for you every Tuesday night at 8:30, 9 p.m. That's approximately when we're going to start each week. Mark, I'm so elated that we're doing this. And we're talking NorCal. We're talking I-80. The show is called I-80 Crossover because it's Kings, it's Warriors, and Jonathan Kuminga. If there's one team that he's linked to more than any other, I mean, the Phoenix Suns have expressed interest. I don't know what asset they would have that could be plausible for a realistic trade. The Bulls, I don't even know if they've expressed interest, but that's a team that's been linked to Jonathan Kuminga. They have their own restricted free agent and Josh Giddey to worry about. But the Sacramento Kings seem to be the team that's most interested. It's been reported by multiple sources that they've made offers. The first offer was straight insulting. Do not pretend Dario Saric is going to bring is not going to elicit a hang up. It's got to be at least a first round pick. It's got to be someone special. With all that said, how genuine is the interest from the Kings, Mark? Like, do they really want Kuminga? Is this a leverage tactic for maybe one of their other free agents? What's going on there?
No, I think they really want him. I think they're monitoring the situation in the Bay and saying, he obviously wants to go. And like we talked about, how it's been a players' league. If this happened, 2 or 3 years ago, Warriors probably would have shipped him off a long time ago, just because how it is. But now it's like teams are fighting back and they're trying to get what they want, and rightfully so in the Warriors situation. You don't want to leave Steph hanging when he, you got a core that, like you said, they're old, but they all can really play basketball still. So you want to see, what they could do and headed towards the finish line. But with the Kings, I think it's just like they don't have enough, like, to make the Warriors budge. And something like the Warriors just have to completely give in and say, here, y'all take them. And I don't see that happening. So I think the Kings are gonna keep, they're gonna keep calling, keep staying in their ear and letting them know, we would take them. And I think Kings fans, I was listening to a lot of radio about it or whatever, and I don't think people understand the situation with Kuminga. It's not that he's not a good player. It's not that he couldn't be, a future all-star in this league of why he's not playing over there. It's different things going on, and you would know more than me. But just from seeing him early on to now, like, he can really play. And like how you said, he's a big difference maker in the Warriors winning, 43 plus, or dropping from, they could potentially, depending on how they get rid of them or whatever, they could potentially drop from, be on the negative end. Same with the Kings. If he's in the Sacramento Kings jersey, I think the Kings get significantly better. I think the odds starts to change, and I think, why would the Bay help? Why would Golden State help the Kings out that much?
Or any team for that matter, anybody.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
why
yeah.
would anybody help someone else? I mean, you're all in competition with each other. Degenerate Dad is in the chat saying the Warriors have an old core and they want high IQ players, and Kuminga is in high IQ. And I'm only highlighting that because I haven't heard that in a while. But Degenerate Dad strongly agree to disagree that he is not high IQ. Besides the fact that it's nearly impossible to actually measure that. I don't see it, and the only reasoning that I get from people when they go, he's a low IQ player, is because Steve Kerr doesn't trust them, and I've given up a long time ago in pretending Steve Kerr's decisions, represent reality, and that like Kerr makes mistakes. He's human like everyone else.
Right.
With that said, going back to the Kings here, man, and Kuminga, how serious is the interest? Because I don't think Keon Ellis is enough. I don't think, like, I'm just reading off some names that have been mentioned, for example, like Devin Carter, definitely not enough. Keon Ellis, not enough. I've heard Malik Monk, but side note, I cannot believe, and this came from a trusted source, and I can't remember who it was, but it was someone that is reliable who reported that Malik Monk is not a Steve Kerr guy. I think it was Tim Kawakami who reported that, which is insane. It's like, how picky is this guy? But regardless, so Malik Monk apparently is not enough because Steve Kerr is not a big fan of his. There's one other player that I've seen connected. I'm looking over the roster right now, and I can't remember what the player is. My point is,
you're not talking about Dario Saric?
Is he still in the Kings? I can't believe that guy's still around, dude. Like a huge reason Calvin Booth got shit canned last year is because he gave Dario Saric a 2-year deal for like $13 million to sign with the Nuggets last year. What were you thinking? Anyways, look, to me, Mark, Keegan Murray, Keegan Murray has to be in the discussion. I really have no understanding why the Kings value him as much as they do, especially when you see his numbers have regressed last year. I don't think Keegan Murray's ever going to be someone who can be a top dog on a contending team. You could say that's a plausible scenario with Kuminga. I don't know if that's plausible with Keegan Murray, and maybe you disagree with that sentiment. But if Keegan Murray's not at least in the mix, Domantas Sabonis, right? I mean, it's got to be a player of that level of gravity, dude. How serious are the Kings? Because you're going to have to start broaching those kinds of names if you want Jonathan Kuminga.
Like I said, I think they're very serious, and I disagree. I disagree with the Keegan Murray thing or whatever. I think the problem with Keegan is I think it's very similar, right? With Kuminga and the Warriors. I think there are two players that are in positions with a roster that isn't going to help them at all. Keegan, are we gonna be able to see if he can be a top dog, behind DeMar, Zach, Sabonis, or whatever? Because there's no shots available. Then you have Malik Monk coming off the bench, who he's gonna get his. So it's a situation where I think his game isn't able to fully expand in the way that he potentially can in the future or whatever. I actually think if Kuminga,
you agree with that,
Keegan,
by the way, from what Kev says? Is Malik Monk a known slacker? I've never heard that until now. Is that a sentiment you've heard?
No, I've never heard that. that's just that's a funny question, but I've never. All I've heard is good things on Malik's work ethic or whatever. But he's a guy that likes to have fun, and that could probably get screwed into that. He's the sense of humor of the team or whatever.
Yeah, there you
he's
go.
always joking. Yeah, but that's funny. But I think if you swap Keegan and Kuminga, I think Keegan probably would do better with the Warriors, and I think Kuminga would do better with the Kings. I think so.
No, that is a sentiment I can roll with, because what the Warriors clearly want is someone who accepts a role, right? Which I think Keegan Murray could perfectly do. Stand in the corner, be a decoy, grab boards, play defense. That's what Steve Kerr wants, right? Mm-hmm. And Keegan Murray, I do think, could excel in that role. Whereas with Kuminga, if he's on the Kings, he just probably is going to get the leash taken off and encouraged to just go wild, right? So, which again begs the question: why would the Kings not throw Keegan Murray in? Did they value him that high? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, no, I think they really like him. I know. I think that when they look, I think they're in a really tough situation with these contracts, to where it's like, are we going to, are we building for the future? And then even with how do you do that? How do you get rid of some of these contracts? How do you get younger and all that? But they're definitely, I don't see a.
Oh, Mark froze on us for a second there. Hopefully he'll come right back. I was looking up, just hearing the word slacker made me look up Back to the Future. I was trying to find the clip of the principal, or that whatever that guy's title is. Why don't I just play that clip real fast while we wait for Mark Haynes' connection issues to get resolved. Is this the slacker part? I couldn't find just the quick little snippet there. He goes, slacker.
Oh, yes, sir. You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
There we go. Okay, there you go. That's your slacker. Is Mark Haynes back? Still frozen? All right, Mark, I'm gonna hide him for a split second, and I'm gonna get to some of these chats while we wait for Mark Haynes to come back. I highlighted a few, and don't worry, some of the chat comments you put at the beginning of the show are highlighted. We'll get to that, including the Russell Westbrook comment. Alan Day, wow, a $4.99 donation. Thank you, sir. Saying Jimmy Butler is the only high IQ player on the roster. They need veteran guards on the floor. Steph and Dre struggle badly in crunch time decision making. There you go. So, Alan, you're saying Draymond Green isn't high IQ? You're saying Stephen Curry isn't high IQ? That's a bold take, brother. There you go. So, Alan, appreciate the donation though, sincerely. And if you have a follow up to that, you don't have to pay more. I promise. I'm looking out for you. I don't know what the name is there. My apologies, but saying Mark was AI the whole time and he froze up. Desirio is adding. Desirio, you are very funny, dude, because I feel like you come on the show, we have these conversations where you achieve some sort of enlightenment, and then everything we talk about, you forget. And then next time you show up, you just go right back to deferring to Steve Kerr, hating on Kuminga every time, dude. Look, we can strongly agree to disagree that a system has more importance than a player. Look, systems are great, but if you don't have the talent to coincide with that, it's not going to work. Plain and simple. Okay, Mark Haynes has texted me. I'm very curious to know what's going on with him. Mark Haynes, side note, is not AI. Oh no, his device died. His son broke his charger. Oh, so we lost him for the night. Yes. He asked if he can hop back on, at least say goodbye. Okay, so this might be a short show. I'm gonna have him just answer all the chat questions as this show excuse me, starts to wrap up much sooner than I thought. But where is I was gonna see if Alan Day was gonna follow up with that comment. Alan Day does add in the chat that Steve Kerr would play Keegan Murray at the 5. Other chat questions. I was gonna ask Mark. Well, look, we're gonna do this every Tuesday. So whatever we missed this week, it's early September. We can revisit all this stuff. I'm just so elated that Mark and I are going to do this on a weekly basis. R. Jonesy in the chat saying you need to chill with that Russell Westbrook disrespect. Look, I have been in my life a Russell Westbrook, a critic, if you will. Bottom line, dude, there's two reasons for that. One, the guy is just such a massive shit talker. He acts like he's the hottest thing since the DeLorean. Why do you act like that when he can't shoot? He can't shoot. He literally cannot shoot. He can attack the paint. He can put up layups. He can make shots at times. But let's not kid ourselves. Russell Westbrook, I apologize, is a stat patter. I mean, the guy was averaging triple doubles and going out of his way to make sure he was getting those triple doubles. And he can't shoot the ball. Is that not objective? Am I being too opinionated with that? Anyways, R. Jonesy, I apologize if I offended you. R. Jonesy adding players should have more of a say about where they go to start their career, because when they get labeled a bust, nobody's going to blame the organization. I'm going to quickly share in the chat the link if anyone wants to join me tonight, because I was expecting a co-host for the evening, and Mark Haynes is likely not going to join us. If you want to join me for a few moments, I'm going to wrap up the show very soon if we don't get Mark back. The link is now in the chat. Come on, join the party. You are welcomed. A degenerate dad, we'll save this question for next time Mark is on the show, is saying, do you think the Sacramento Kings retire DeMarcus Cousins' number? That's a great question. I'm going to lean toward no, but I could be wrong with that. I'm not an expert on the Sacramento Kings. Alan Day, $4.99, and hopefully you got your money's worth and then some. Well, Nice to formally meet you. I don't think you've been on the show yet, have you?
First time, man. First time. Glad to jump on.
Floor is yours. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, man. So over the years, if you dig deeper into Steph and Dre, they've always been atrocious in late game situations. Even back in the days, if you remember, Steve Kerr was breaking clipboards because of them. Okay. And he would often need to bring in Iguodala, the veteran ball handler, to clean up their mess. Okay. Their vets, as well as S. Dot. If you
Alan,
remember,
hold on 1 second. 1 second. Mark, how
I'm
much time do you have real quick? I'm curious.
I got about 10 to 15 minutes.
Hey,
cool.
Put
Alan,
me backstage. Put me backstage.
Dude, Alan, finish up your thought. Go ahead and then go ahead.
Yeah. All I was saying is that we kind of overreact with this high IQ thing, right?
Yeah.
Like with the Warriors, they never really had like all out high IQ guys. They had a few very high IQ guys to clean up the garbage that Steph and Dre and Clay would do. They always
Alan, you don't think Maurice Spates was high IQ? I'm kidding, man. I'm sorry. Maybe that was mean. Maybe that was
man.
That might have been a low blow. I apologize for that. Go ahead.
Mo Buckets he'll make some, but he'll shoot you out of house and home, man. He'll keep shooting. Hey, and respect to Mo Buckets, man. He followed me on Twitter. Like they always talk about like the Warriors never had a stretch five. Like they forget about this guy. He's the original stretch five, right?
Maybe I should have said Alan Smilajic should have been the better one. You don't think he's high IQ?
Man, come on, man. No, like Steph is just loose, man. I'm not gonna say he's low IQ, but he's not the high IQ that everyone thinks he is.
I follow.
He pretty much just, he play free. He play free. He's not really under control. Draymond's not under control. How many fourth quarters with like 20 seconds left, and they had Draymond Green inbound the ball, and he throw the ball somewhere like what the hell are you doing?
That's fair. That's fair.
So no, man, on this team in particular, no, the high IQ guy is Jimmy Butler. They brought him in to control the fourth quarters, get to the free throw line, and not turn over the ball. Because that's what Draymond and Steph do for a living. They turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? They turning that shit over, man. Come on, respect to them. I love them, but we can poke holes at their game, right? They're not perfect,
Alan, what do you tomorrow? And this gives me a chance to shamelessly plug the program. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., we have on the show a character named Yo Rush. We call him the mayor of NBA Threads. His real name's David Rushing. He's an awesome dude, and he has his own show. He covers the NBA. We're gonna bring the live audience on tomorrow, man. Alan, are you free tomorrow in the 5 o'clock hour Pacific time?
Hey, I got absolutely. I have class.
Come back.
So I'll jump.
Come back, please. Because I don't mean to cut you off, but Mark's on. No. His juice is limited. So.
Hey, man. All right. Thanks for getting me on though.
Alan, come back. Thank you for the donation. Thanks for everything, dude. I appreciate you. Alan's also on Twitter as well. I think if you just search Alan Day. So you're on a limited time span here, brother. You said you're one of your kids cut the cord, used up all the juice, all of the above, right?
Yeah, we just got this cord too. Like already, I'm like, come on, man. he's blaming his sisters and stuff. It's like I'm thinking it's charging the whole time, and then it goes blank right in the middle of a statement. But
I'm glad you can come back and say goodnight at least. And address a few Kings questions in the chat. Like R. Jonesy brought this up, and I'm glad you're here because the Sacramento Kings, for whatever reason, are linked to Russell Westbrook. I also read a report which did make me laugh. And this report wrote that Russell Westbrook will not sign for the veteran minimum. So if he's going to play in the NBA, someone has to pay above that. That alone made me just literally shit my pants laughing. Well, figuratively speaking, I didn't actually shit my pants. But dude, is Russell Westbrook going to be on the Kings? Why are the Kings interested? What's going on there, man?
And I asked about the over or under on that with FanDuel or whatever. It's not there yet, but maybe it pops up. But if I had to bet, I think he will. I think Russell Westbrook will be in a Kings jersey next year. I think that they really, really want him, and a lot of people say why. And when they're looking at the type of player Russell Westbrook is on the court, and I think I think he had a very productive year last season with Denver, and Denver was one of those teams that he just he fit well in his role. And would a lot of people would he do that with Sack? I would say probably not. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say have that type of year. But the one thing about Westbrook that there's some question here in Sacramento sometimes is players don't give full effort every night. That's one thing about Russell Westbrook you cannot question. You cannot question what type of teammate he has been or
Yes, sir.
whatever. So
Yes.
I think for the culture of Sacramento and what they're trying to build out here, I think he'll be a great fit, especially in the locker room. So I think when they're looking at when Scott Perry is looking at this team and this roster, like they have a lot of limitations, and you got the one thing you can do at any point is build for the future, and I think Russell Westbrook is a part of that, and
Yeah.
I think it's a culture builder, not necessarily he's gonna come out there and change things on the court.
Speaking of Scott Perry, the relatively new GM of the Kings, has been there, I think, for a year now. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Do you want to promote your possible? Is it too soon?
I should be getting an interview with him. I say that. I say it like that. I should be. It's in the works. We'll see how things play out, because you know
Chef's
how
kiss
things
that.
go.
Yeah.
You doing work and you trying to figure things out, and then things fall through or things happen. Sometimes it happens sooner, sometimes later. So I'll say that eventually I'll have them.
Good dude. And I hope that happens. And again, people can just check out Bleav in Kings. And they can follow you, Mark, on all social media platforms at Mark Haynes NBA, where I'm sure you're going to be posting updates about this and so much more. But again, if you're on YouTube, just type in Bleav in Kings, and your channel will pop up. Your channel is actually called the Closer Sports, because you also have football and other things going on there. And as you and I and a lot of people are aware of, football is king. So good luck with the traffic numbers there. I respect the idea, the plan behind it, because football, man, like what is Sacramento Niners country, dude? Like, who are people rooting for in Sac when it comes to the NFL?
I would say, yeah. I would say
Okay.
I see majority Niner fans out here, but there's definitely some Raider guys. But I feel like Niners is where it's at out here.
All right.
And the comments could correct me, and I could be wrong, but
I think you're fine.
yeah, I think this is a Niner town out here.
I think it used to be a Raiders town much more, right? And then when they went to
Right.
Vegas, maybe the Niners got some fans back. Do you agree with Kev F, who writes that Perry was a Vladi guy, and he wrote something else that actually was not the comment I wanted to highlight, but he did. Oh, it's this one, that Vivek, the Kings owner, is obsessed with copying the Warriors. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, he did. You know what? He started off there, and I wouldn't, when you say copying, I wouldn't use that word, but it's just like when you learn how things go, when you're just like the Popovich guys or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Mike Brown and Steve Kerr and all of them are copying Pop, but that's where they came from. So you're gonna have a lot of similarities. So that's kind of what I think with Vivek or whatever is, maybe it's some copying to it. Maybe you could say that, because
Is
he's not
emulation
necessarily.
maybe a more accurate term? Like he wants to emulate. And look, the Warriors are a dynasty. Why would you not want to
Who would not want to
replicate
be
that?
them? And they're
Yeah.
right next door. They're your home. Right. It's your neighbor. It's your neighbor. So you want to be as good as them for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I think that's fair. I think it's fair, and I don't necessarily think that's a negative thing if you're trying to
Yeah,
copy
yeah.
them.
I agree. Mark, before we lose you, let's finish on this note because this is a hot topic, and I think this presents a very fascinating concept in terms of what the Kings could do to get Jonathan Kuminga. And this is the great worry with the Golden State Warriors. They have 9 players on their roster right now, and they have not signed anyone else because they don't want to jeopardize the taxpayer mid-level exception, which is approximately $5.6 million. If they use that, they're hard capped at the second apron, which is approximately $207 million. And the Warriors are currently at 170. So if you do the math, they have $37 million approximately in space. And they have that space designed because Jonathan Kuminga hit the maximum amount of money he could make in free agency, theoretically, is $36 million and change. So, and that's why that gap exists. It's why the Warriors have $37 million in space. Kuminga could be stolen in theory by another team for $36 million. And this is why ATGYY brings this up. Is it possible that the Sacramento Kings, I don't even know if this is realistic, and I don't know if you have done the research on this either, but is it plausible in your mind for the Sacramento Kings to simply wait this out? Because at a certain point, the Warriors will have to start filling that roster out. And the moment they do, they're going to lose that space. And my guess is that the Warriors' thinking is they're not going to use the taxpayer mid-level exception until the Kuminga thing is resolved, because as long as they don't touch that, they're not going to lose Kuminga. They'd go over the second apron, but they have the bird rights of Kuminga, and they can do that. But if they use the taxpayer mid-level exception, which is reportedly what you need for Al Horford, then you're screwed. You're hard capped at 207, and a team like the Kings could then slide in there and steal Kuminga for nothing. How realistic of a possibility would that be? I think
realistically, I think that might be the only way they go after Kuminga. I think I think the Kings, like when you asked me earlier how serious they are about getting them, I think they're serious about getting them, but it's just a matter of how,
Right.
It's like, and I think that's where, people like Malik Monk name get thrown in, and it's like, all right, you can give me them, and get this in return, or you might lose them, completely, because like reports said that he wants to be in Sacramento or whatever. So, I think like we look at both organizations right now. There's not much going on. You got Russell Westbrook sitting out there who potentially would be a King, and you got Al Horford and some other names that they're just sitting. Everybody's just sitting, and it's all, waiting on Jonathan Kuminga and what's going to happen with him. And eventually, like how I see it is, eventually the Warriors are going to have to make a decision on, they hold the power for everybody, for the whole situation. So Sacramento is nothing really for them to do right now. They really just gotta sit and wait.
And to the best of your knowledge, and I don't know if this is a complicated question, but is it plausible? Like, is it, maybe plausible is not the right word. Is it possible for the Kings to cut DeMar DeRozan and create cap space? Like, is that something they could do? Like, stretch him out, like we saw with the Suns and Bradley Beal?
I think they can. I just don't think they will. So I don't think it's in that sense. I don't think it's possible. I think.
Or is there another player that they could do by? It doesn't have to be DeRozan, right? It could be Zach LaVine.
Yeah. I just don't see it. I don't see that.
Okay.
I don't see them doing that to anybody. Now, obviously, it's the NBA. Who would be surprised? But if I had to pick, I would bet the under on that.
but the fact that even is a possibility is why the Warriors are so freaked out, and they're not making moves right now. Degenerate Jad wants to know, Mark, will the Sacramento Kings ever retire Boogie Cousins' number? I answered this while you stepped away. My guess was no. I could be wrong on that though. Will they? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think he's one of the greatest Sacramento Kings players of all time, especially talent wise. And if they, when I look at all the, all teams or whatever, and like who gets their jersey retired or whatever, like, what's the criteria? Like, it
Yeah.
was Isaiah Thomas. I meet the criteria. Some teams will, they'll put you in there for your individual, accomplishments and accolades, which Boogie Cousins has, but the reason I say no is not because he doesn't deserve it in a Sacramento jersey, but I think there are some other guys out there who probably should get theirs first.
Fair enough. There you go. Anything you want to promote before we call it a night? Desiree, I'm gonna get to you real fast before I end things on my end. But Mark Haynes, you can follow him on social media at Mark Haynes NBA. You host Bleav in Kings. Bleav in Kings is part of your YouTube channel, The Closers Sports. But again, if you're on YouTube, just search Bleav in Kings. It'll come right up. And that's also available on all podcast platforms. You and I are doing this every Tuesday night, approximately 8:30, give or take a half hour. Anything else you want to promote, brother, before we lose you because of computer juice?
No, that was the main thing, man, is we gonna be here every Tuesday. And we gonna get better and better. We gonna have more, we hopefully next week we got a little more to talk about. Maybe something happens. Maybe Horford's on the Warriors.
Exactly.
Maybe Westbrook goes somewhere. Maybe that's what we here for. We gonna be ready every Tuesday. I hope y'all ready. But yeah, we said it already. All the different places you can follow me. Very simple. At Mark Haynes NBA will be all my personal pages. Type in Bleav in Kings on YouTube. I'll be there. But you can find here at the I-80 crossover, me and Cyrus, every Tuesday. We've been working on this for a minute. We've been talking about it, and it's finally here, and I'm so juiced.
I'm right with you, man. And make sure you replace that computer cord, because when we lost you, I almost got to this level.
All right, let's just stay calm here. Don't get all crazy on me.
Sorry, I had to introduce that. The great George Costanza. All right, Mark, love you, brother. And again, we do this every week, so get some sleep, and hope you and the family are doing great. Stay cool in that hot Sacramento weather. We are now in September, so it should start dipping those temperatures.
Hopefully.
And Lori Stubbs showing some love to you as well. Nice that you're here. Desiree, you're filling big shoes here. I don't know if this is going to work out. We're going to do our best. Mark, brother, thank you, man.
All right, bro. I'll see you. Talk to you tomorrow,
brother. You too, man. Have a good night. The great Mark Haynes. Desiree, how are you doing, man? Thanks for waiting.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been talking about. I just wanted to clear up something, and
Please.
I know I might seem a little negative in the chat and things like that, but
you're fine.
That's not what I mean. I just want to be. I just want to say respectfully, like my opinion and stuff, and I don't want to seem like being like hating towards you and stuff like that. I just disagree with like the Kerr hate mostly. I understand your perspective about him not training the young guys and being stubborn with his offensive system. And I understand that. I see the perspective, but still, this offensive system has really worked it's gotten us to like 6 finals, and we've seen a lot of success through it. So blaming it all on Steve Kerr, I wouldn't do that. There's some faults I could see, like him, the young guys. He's not a good developer. He said it himself. He's not good at developing the young guys. But I see that more as like a team thing. Like it's not just Kerr being like with the young guys on one-on-one hours. Like it's the other assistant coaches doing that stuff too. So I don't know. I mean, there's some faults on it, but I wouldn't completely blame Kerr about all of this. And I'm hoping we could get a solution to this Kuminga thing. It's already September, so it's annoying. So yeah, and then
it is annoying, dude. It's beyond annoying. This is outrageous. I don't think anybody predicted this. To the best of your knowledge, Desiree, have you seen anybody on social media and the media scene? Has anybody coming out boasting, saying, "I told you we'd be going into Sac"? Dude, nobody called this, man.
No, nobody did. So
psychotic.
It's disappointing, honestly. It's disappointing. I wish it could be better. We could have got maybe better free agents, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll get some good stuff. And yeah, I don't want to take too much of your time, but somebody called Alan Day in the chat. He's been annoying me, bro. Like
he was on the show a second ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the IQ stuff, and I don't know if he wants to join back in so we can argue with him.
Desiree, sorry to interrupt you, but tomorrow, and again, another shameless plug for the program, 5 p.m. Pacific time, David Rushing is going to join the program. We're going to be talking NBA, not just Warriors, just kind of catching up. We're going to be playing some fun games like rankings, and maybe most importantly, bringing the audience onto the show. Alan Day said he would be available tomorrow at 5 p.m. and on. Realistically, I'm thinking probably more closer to 5:30 p.m. would be when we can start bringing some audience members onto the show. Will you be available so I can bring both of you on the show together and you can hash it out?
I'm down. I'm not going to take up too much time now. But yeah, tomorrow.
We're going to wrap up anyway. So all good. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
All right. Look, thank you, Desiree. Have a great night. And that is something to hype up, folks. Do I have a sound effect for I uploaded some sound effects here. And do I have one for like a boxing match? Like I got a drum roll. Hold on. Let me see if I got something that could work for a fight. Oh, a punch? Does this work? No, that's not. That's ridiculous. Do I have anything else that could represent maybe the popo? The popo are coming. The security set up for this duke it out match between Desiree, Alan Day. I got my money on Alan Day if it's a physical fight, but if it's strictly verbal discourse, I'm going to say 50-50 odds here, even odds on both fighters. Regardless, come back tomorrow 5 p.m. And we should have a good time with that. Maybe, I hope. No, and all kidding aside, it'll be fun. David Rushing is an awesome dude. He's a good dude. He knows his stuff. He's got a huge following on Threads. Congratulations to him for that. He started with nothing, and he's become a celebrity on that program. I like when good things happen to good people, and he's one of the good ones. So he's joining me tomorrow at 5 p.m. We're just going to do a big old catch-up on the NBA as a whole, and hopefully we're going to have Alan Day versus Desiree. Winner take all. I thought Young West was putting odds. Alan Day says he'll be here. Desiree, right back saying, you better be ready, Alan Day. It is on like Donkey Kong, baby. You good stuff. All kidding aside, thank you so much to Mark Haynes for joining me. We're going to do this every week. I'm really excited about that. And Mark is super chill too. What I mean by that is he's down with audience members coming on. So especially once the season gets going and there's going to be a lot of heated topics and a lot of passion and emotion and emotionally vested interest in the Golden State Warriors and to a lesser extent the Sacramento Kings, because sorry to insult Mark's audience, but you guys are the little brothers, and of course I'm saying that when Mark's not here, but you're just the little brothers. You guys are in that corner. You're a little bros, and we the Warriors, we're the big bros. We look down on you and pat you on the head a little bit and just say you'll get there someday. We're here for you, but you're just not big bro level. I'm being totally disrespectful and a borderline asshole. I apologize. I took that too far. Nonetheless, Mark Haynes and I doing this every week. I'm elated about that. I love the guy. And so join us for that and hope it's fun. Join us tomorrow for the big match. Is there a good sound effect or a good drop I could play for that?
How do you tell somebody that you care about deeply? I told you so.
I like that because one of those two are going to be telling that to the other person and to all their friends later on. It's called braggadocio. Mark Haynes, thank you again for collaborating with me. Every week we're doing that. Thanks to the audience. Thanks to everybody. Back at this tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.